Welcome back to the Sioux City Show. My name is Taylor Grote. I'm hosting this thing. In the studio with me today, I have Seth Tonner. Seth is an entrepreneur behind multiple companies around the Siouxland area. He is also somebody I grew up with in Sergeant Bluff. And Seth, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. I'm excited to be here. First time with headphones on my head and listening to my own voice, so it's pretty good. But yeah, it's awesome to be here. Couldn't be happier that you have a Sioux City Show that's promoting Sioux City and putting things out there on the map for us.
You're damn right. And I guess I wanted to have you on because I always thought that your route that you took after high school was really interesting, because when you're graduating from high school, especially in this area, I don't know a single person who wasn't told, okay, you either have to go to community college and then to go to college, or you have to go to college. Right. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to make. And by the way, they were like the jobs that they were telling us that we need to go do are like $45,000 a year jobs, which there's nothing wrong with.
Right.
It's not something that you need a college degree to do to make $45,000 a year. So I guess kind of like what led to that decision to forego the usual or the high school prescribed route and go into the entrepreneurship route? Yeah,
it's a good question. So actually my mom and my aunt were actually school teachers, so they were like super heavy on the whole school system side of things. So yeah, like everyone around here probably is told the same thing. Hey, you got to go to college, go get a degree, and then you go get a good job. And that was kind of going to be my route. I wanted to go to like an Ivy League school, but I don't mean my grades probably weren't good enough. That was just what I wanted to be, because in my mind, I thought, hey, if you go to Harvard, all these places, then you're automatically going to be rich.
Yeah,
people we were always aspiring to be. So I was always told my whole life is like, in order to be a success or to have money or to be able to do anything, you got to go to school, you got to get a degree, and then you got to go find a job. So that transition kind of happened when I was looking into the people that I wanted to kind of become. And I started looking at their backgrounds, and I realized that, hey, they didn't necessarily go to school to create this company, or they didn't necessarily go to, Harvard University, or some of them did, but like they didn't really necessarily apply any of their degrees that they got from, the schooling or the education, and they went out and did it themselves. So I started looking at, who could I find that has been where I was and has what I currently want. And then, that was my outlook on, hey, instead of going to pay an institution a couple $100,000 for a 4-year education or whatever it might be, to go then hopefully use that degree and go get a job, why don't I take that and just go find someone who has what I want, go learn from them, and then go duplicate that process. So that's kind of where I kind of found myself. I was told, hey, go to college, you have to. And I got a lot of backlash because of that when I graduated a year early and didn't go to school, right? I was like kind of sat down by my parents, like, hey, you have to get a job. If you're not going to be going to school, you got to get a job. Mm-hmm. That was very interesting point. Yeah.
And we also graduated, you're 3 years younger than me. I graduated in 2009. Yeah. So
I graduated, my class graduated in, I think, 2013. Yeah, I graduated in 2012 then.
Okay, yeah. So I graduated at a time when the internet was just getting to a point where, I don't know if it was still this way for you, but trying to convince people that I can make money on the internet and I know how to make money on the internet.
Oh, it's Fugazi.
And it's not an idea. It's not...
No, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what
real.
It was.
Like
yeah,
I can make money on the internet and nobody believed it.
Yeah.
Even when I was in film school, they'd say like, this is how you work on a Hollywood production. We got to go do that. And I'm like, I'd be there and I'd be doing it. And they're like, what do you want to do when you get on Hollywood sets? I was like, I don't want to work on Hollywood sets ever.
Yeah.
I said, well, why are you in film school? I was like, I'm going to make I'm going to make videos for the internet. And
right.
Like, no, there's no money in that. And
it's turns out
there's more money in that than there is being a grip on a film set. So.
Yeah, it's crazy to know that. Like, I think I was 17 years old and I was sitting in Omaha, and I was in my apartment, and it was the first time I made $1,000 online. Yeah. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was selling some affiliate thing, and it happened just to make a whimsical, thing, and someone bought it. All right, so I woke up to $1,000 on there, and I started thinking to myself, I was like, dude, if you could figure out how to make money,
yeah,
and you don't necessarily have to be there. I mean, that's what I want to figure out how to do, and wrap my head around and try to figure out, because how cool is it that you can sit behind a computer and make some money, right?
My first year quitting my job, I got all in on everything I could do. So I was trying to make ends meet building Honeywave Media, but my big goal was, if I can make $100 a day, I can keep doing this.
Right.
So I had a whole circuit I was doing. I would go to the Goodwills in the morning, the thrift shops around town.
Straight hustling.
I'd look for all of the Pyrex containers because I knew that they sold them for $3.50 to $5, and I knew I could flip them for $20 to $25 on eBay all day long. So like that was my morning hustle. And then in the afternoon, I'd hit a couple more thrift stores, find some good clothes, have my girl sell them on Depop. And then I'd be, doing Uber driving at night, and in between all that, I'd be trying to hustle out video gigs.
Absolutely.
So, it's like the cell phones and the internet in general have completely changed the way you can be self-employed.
Right. It's not the same old, like, hey, you got to go learn how to do this, and you're stuck in this career path for the next 50 years, and then hopefully you have enough money to retire, but by that time you're too sick and old to even enjoy yourself. Now, you have kids there's that one kid who's making like $20 million a year on YouTube, reviewing toys.
Good.
Right?
Is it like Cody's Toy Box or something?
Yeah, it's just some kid. He's like, I don't know, younger than he's under 10, I know at least, and he's making $20 million a year.
Yep.
Just reviewing toys on the internet, and you start thinking about that, the possibilities. Like for me, I already knew I didn't want to go to school because I knew I didn't want to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything that needed a degree to get you to that point of your career you needed to be. I knew I didn't want to do that. But it was just kind of a weird deal, man. When I first realized that you can make money, not with this career path.
And when you bring up the influencer, I know that I'm not going to be blowing your mind here, but people listening need to understand there's this whole thing where they go, influencers. Ew, influencers. Isn't that gross that person makes $20 million a year on YouTube?
Right.
And I go, wait a second.
No, how cool is this?
Why
and what are they doing?
Why is somebody who's on television allowed to make $20 million a year?
Right.
For maybe people watching them. Maybe they're scrolling through their phone while the show's on. But then this kid who's getting all of these clicks on the videos he's putting out, and whatever makes people click, they're clicking. Mm-hmm. And he has an audience built up to the point where he's earning $20 million off of all the advertising revenue that he's giving out to other people to benefit their businesses. And we have a problem with that, but we don't have a problem with the system in which you have to, please, gatekeeper, put me on television. And then finally, some dude, usually a slime ball, spoiler alert, this is the system in which guys like Harvey Weinstein are able to flourish and be able to control all the access to fame and fortune. You take that out of the mix, and now you got influencers. Mm-hmm. So I'm 1,000% pro influencer, and I don't really give a shit about movie stars and TV stars because most of them are only there because they're a product of marketing. They are a product.
Right.
A studio took in, and a studio takes 50% of everything they make. And Alexa just gave us a reminder we're supposed to take out the garbage at the end of the day. Well, Alexa, stop. Thanks, honey.
Automation, dude.
Yeah.
21st century.
Robots in this office, and they're interrupting me. So yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think that there's just all this weird stigma, and I don't know where it's from. After that lady.
I think it's from the boomers, man. I'm just kidding.
Right?
I still have issues with issues. I mean, if anything, I don't like some of the influencers out there like showing their flashy cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't disrespect or don't acknowledge that what they're doing is cool. Like the fact that they can make money online, that's awesome.
Right. And I always try to tell people, hey,
I think those things when you say influencer, you immediately think like, oh, flashy car, faking it till you make it, renting Lambos and stuff for the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I think that's where that misinterpretation comes from with like that filthiness with influencer. Mm-hmm. But like when I think of influencer, like there's a lot of podcasts I watch and I spend most of my time on there of just random people, and I learn the most from things like that. And like you said, I don't get excited about like I used to, like Brad Pitt and movie stars and about them. I get more excited about this guy's got a podcast out. I want to watch it, and I can't wait to the next one.
And they're self-made.
Right, exactly.
And 100%. There's nobody behind the scenes.
Self-made, no studios.
It's work at that point. It's
no studios.
A dude who does his own work.
Absolutely, from grassroots. Same thing you started here. It's absolutely incredible.
I done came up. Look at me now.
You just slap. You slap so hard.
Yeah, I do. I do. So what's your big venture you got going on right now? I know that you've had a successful entrepreneurial past, and I want to hear what's going on right now.
Yeah, right now, this moment, we have something going on called Holiday Cheer Lighting. So a little shameless plug here. Holiday Cheer Lighting, we specialize in traditional Christmas light installation with install, takedown, and storage on homes and businesses around the area. And then more recently, we got into something really exciting. It's the permanent lighting side of that. So you have people that will pay us to install and take down, but at a certain point, they either want to stop paying you every year because it's, So we move over to this permanent side of things. So 3 years ago, we introduced from a client, and they said, hey, I love your service. I like what you do, but I don't want to keep paying you until the day I die, and we completely respected that. So we started looking into different options for them. And what we found was a permanent lighting solution that you're able to install in a house or a business, and with an app, you just control it remotely, never have to pay for it again. It's completely invisible in the day, and at night, it's vibrant. You can set it up with different patterns, colors, and on and off timers.
Is this the one that like you can do like 4th of July?
Yeah,
you can have
absolutely. St. Patty's Day,
yeah.
Breast Cancer Awareness Day, Blue Line, supporting the police. You can do almost anything you want, and the cool thing about it is all automated, so you're not just stuck to Christmas lights, right?
Yeah.
So you can have it for birthdays, events. Let's say you're ordering food and they can't ever find your place. But like, dude, it's the purple house flashing. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're doing right now, and it's pretty exciting. It kind of blew up in the last year, really, because we've been marketing it the last 3 years. And it takes a little bit of time to get someone used to the idea of, hey, there's gonna be lights in your house or your business, forever.
Yeah.
And what is that, and what does that entail? So that's been a lot of fun. So we're doing that. My brother and I own this company, and we have a couple crews that go out. This year was really weird because COVID was supposed to slow everything down, right?
Yeah, it didn't.
It didn't for the Christmas light business.
Nice.
People had more money to spend. They wanted, all the gloomy stuff that was happening. I think a lot more people wanted to spice up their holidays, something to be happy about, something to come home and look forward to. So that was exciting for us because we were anticipating kind of a bad year and probably knocking off some clients. And we actually, about doubled our clientele for that side of things, which was really nice.
All the people that fit into that, the niche of $600, the $600 per check or $600 every 2 week unemployment stuff. Everybody, like, that expendable income really benefited some industries. And I think that, the Christmas lights is one of those things where people had extra money.
We were one of them. Yeah. And it's crazy. And it wasn't just, it just wasn't us. It was this Christmas stuff across the entire country. So we have contacts and networks all across the country that do this. And everyone was saying the exact same thing. It was the biggest year in Christmas light history. And we're expecting another really, really big year. But the thing I'm most excited about, though, is the permanent side of things, because I had an opportunity to go check out a place that the entire downtown was lit up with permanent lighting.
Where are we talking about?
So, like, what was that?
Where are we talking about?
Where?
Yep.
Grapevine, Texas.
Okay.
So in Grapevine, Texas, there is I believe that's what I might be wrong, but I'll make sure to put it in the comments. But there's a entire strip of downtown that has this permanent lighting system hooked up to their downtown area. And what it allows them to do is every building is all synced up to one controller. Yeah. Right, so every single building downtown could be on the same pattern. So it's St. Patty's Day, you're driving into town, and the whole downtown is green, right? So it's a pretty incredible sight to see when you're like, everything is green. Like, it's not just this, not just this. And then you change that over into, different events that are happening. So like Small Business Saturday, they used it for different color schemes, saying, hey, this shop has this sale, this shop has this sale, look for the colors.
Oh, wow.
And it created like this whole community engagement, coming to see it. They got more tourism. They had more people coming in to stop into those businesses. And it's still to this day continuing to happen like that.
So you're trying to do this in Sioux City?
100%. We're trying to light up Sioux City. So that's our main goal. Like, how cool would it be if you can imagine driving into the interstate, driving from into the Sioux City, head north or south, and looking at the skyline of all the buildings, and they're all synced up to the same thing. And let's imagine it's St. Patty's Day, and they're all green. Yeah. Like, you just, kind of imagine that. And it's something that not only will the people here in Sioux City enjoy it, people will be coming to Sioux City to come look at these lights.
We can take the weather ball and spread it out.
And make, kind of the concept. I mean, the weather ball is a big thing. Yeah. It's like a Sioux City staple. But imagine the entire skyline lit up that same way. So it's going to be a big process, but that's our ultimate goal and objective. And it's going to take a long time to make that happen. But the beautiful thing about that right now is we've already got the ball rolling. We have 3 different buildings downtown that have committed to doing that process. So we're going to be putting that on there in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully it gets a little warmer out so we can actually start installing. Yeah. And 0-degree weather, it's not good.
It's -3 out today, just for the record.
It's kind of cold. Yep. So when it gets a little warmer out, we got 3 buildings downtown that we're going to be installing the system on as kind of a test run. And we're going to be showing other building owners and the downtown partners and the Chamber of Commerce and everyone that's involved with the whole Sioux City progress, what it could do for the town, what it could do for the businesses around it, and what we're willing to do with it. we want it to happen, right? So, and it's a single source product. So it's going to be a no-brainer for anyone that actually sees it on the buildings that we're going to be putting up. They see how it operates. They see how all the buildings sync together, and it's going to be one of those things that in a couple, I don't know how long it's going to take, but one day or another, so I'm going to be in Sioux City for the rest of my life. Sioux City, when I was younger, I always wanted to, hey, I cannot wait till I turn X amount of old and I'll get the heck out of Sioux City because Sioux City sucks, right? Probably heard that a couple times, hey, Sioux City, whatever.
Yep.
The older I get, the more excited I am that I live in a place like Sioux City.
Right.
The amount of growth that's happened here in the last 5 years, the amount of connections that you can have in a small, it's a small town, but it's not that small.
No,
it's pretty big, right? So
exactly,
it's an exciting place to be, and we couldn't be happier to be located here, and. Yeah. I talk to my brother all the time, like, hey, should we move? Should we, establish something else elsewhere, a bigger market? No, this is the place right in our backyard.
I tell people, like, generally, you take any 100-mile circumference, right? So you're going to have a city in basically this part of the United States back east. It's a little bit more sparse when you go west. But you're going to have 100-mile circumference around a city. And, Sioux City, and then you got Omaha 100 miles away, and then you got Sioux Falls 100 miles away. And you need to have, there is just naturally, by the way that human beings work, every one of those 100-mile circumferences is going to have a set of people. There's going to be movers and shakers. There's going to be the big athletes. There's going to be, the big businessmen. There's going to be the famous people, the movie stars that come from there, right?
Yep.
And
makes up a community.
Right. But like when you take it, you have to shrink all that down in Sioux City to a small population. And by doing that, we have so much more access to all of those resources.
Sure. Like you could go contact a CEO of a company that you wanted to get a hold of within like a matter of minutes. And when you're in a bigger city somewhere else, like LA or Denver or something like that, it might be a little harder to have that kind of access. Like I can literally go find out if I want to go talk to someone. I probably know where they eat lunch every day, and I could go like insert myself in that situation, or I could just make a phone call and walk up there. So I think that's the awesome thing about Sioux City as well. It's big, but there's big business around here too.
Right. And the crazy part about being from Iowa in general is that if you did go to LA or whatever, and you need, I need to get in touch with somebody who does this, somebody who's a director, your best bet is going to be finding that Iowa connection, because as soon as you tell people that you're from Iowa and they're from Iowa, they're like, oh yeah, word, let me help you out.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, exactly.
Big city, we don't know what's going on.
That's the truth,
Iowa
man.
boys got to stick together.
Yeah, we call it the Iowa Illuminati in the creative industry.
Oh man, that's funny.
There's a few of us at every big agency, sneaking in,
Unreal.
making moves,
Unreal.
hooking up the homies.
It's that Midwestern hospitality.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That's what they say it is, or whatever it is.
Midwestern hustle, I call it.
Just beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, that sounds like a great idea. I mean, as far as just when you were talking about what
it's going to be it's going to be a hurdle. We have everything from historic buildings that can't be touched a certain way and things like that. But I believe that we have the right product to handle that situation. And the cool thing about it is once it's up, it's there.
Yeah.
And everyone can enjoy it, not just the people that actually own the buildings or have the businesses downtown that everyone's going to be wanting to flock to. But it's one of those things. It's going to take a while, but we're committed. Like I said, we're going to be here for the next 50, 60 years. I'm going to probably die in Sioux City, and we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that this is a place that I want my kids to be here.
What is it going to take to be able to make it happen?
It's going to take a lot of convincing, and the convincing part is really easy because it all comes into if you see it to believe it. Ideas sounds great, but unless you can actually see something that is producible, say, hey, so that's why we got the ball rolling with these 3 buildings that have already committed to it. We're going to be putting on one as a test run, and then we're going to be introducing that to downtown partners, Chamber of Commerce, everyone involved with the downtown Sioux City decision-making process. And if they're, not willing to come on board, we're going to do it anyways. You know what I mean? So we're going to be contacting those business owners and those people and showing them, the returns that they're could expect. And it's not going to be immediate ROI, but you're talking about transforming the landscape of an entire city. Yeah. Right. You go from small town Iowa, and then you're thinking like Miami. Lights everywhere, or New York City, square time, things like that. But on a lighter note, like that, if that takes longer to happen, at the very least, we need to make sure that downtown Sioux City is completely lit up during the holidays, minimum. If you go downtown Omaha, every single tree is wrapped, every one of them. and everyone has this holiday cheer to them. Walking around, everyone's happy. So as of right now in downtown, all we have currently is garland, a couple pieces of old garland, and a couple of ribbons.
And don't they do like, there's like a couple squares where they do, or I guess intersections where they hang lights across the intersection?
Yeah, so they introduced that I think last year or whenever that was, but that's a permanent kind of a deal. And that alone, that right there, that little aspect of lighting changes that 4th Street area so much.
It really does. It makes it feel like a downtown district
Totally.
almost immediately.
And not just a small. It's a small town, but it's like this big city vibe.
Yeah,
You
we
know
should
what I mean?
just Fremont Street style, put an overhang all the way across.
That's exactly what I'm talking
Street.
about. 100%. No, I mean that'd be a little bit over the top, but
Outdoor beer.
Yeah.
Outdoor beer.
absolutely. But I mean, there's countless studies proving that when you have lights, it's gonna direct result of revenue.
Yeah.
When you have Christmas happening, which is a very good time of the year, it's very happy and jolly, and it's like a 90-day spread, right? And if you don't have any lights,
Yeah.
the expression on people's faces aren't, it's cold out, I don't want to go downtown, I don't want to go check out any businesses, I don't want to do anything. But when you do have the lights, you can go see up in Sioux Falls, the Sioux Falls Park up there, you just walk around and just look at the people's faces.
Yeah.
You see the expression of like, man, this is so cool. And all it takes is a couple LED bulbs, and to us, that's fascinating. That's kind of why we got into, the holiday business is, number one, we love Christmas, we love holidays, we like lights. But when we could start seeing the faces of the people that have the projects, wow, and it sounds kind of cheesy, but like, I'm telling you, man, if there's any husbands out there listening, you probably have heard your wife bicker at you about getting the Christmas lights up. And there's no better feeling in the world just calling up a company, getting those lights done, your wife coming home and being so happy and thankful that they called Holiday Share Lighting.
Hey, I'm sold. I got no wife, so I don't. I'm not your target audience. But I mean, you come up here and you look around. There's a lot of lights, and didn't you feel like spending some money when you came up here?
I did, yeah. Immediately I wanted to pull out the checkbook and start writing some checks. I don't know not who yet, but we got
Taylor
something up
Grote.
the line. Absolutely.
Yeah, put the name on the check. But no, I like it, man. I think that any effort to beautify Sioux City and to do so with like a data-driven reason is
right.
is
It's not just like, oh, it's going to look pretty. Like there are countless places across the country that have done similar things to this, and you can talk to the mayors, you can talk to the people that own the movers and shakers of the town, and they'll tell you that this is one of the best investments they've ever made for their town. And when you start talking to people about light, it's just a light here and there, but when you see what it could do for an entire district, and I'll have some videos and some posts when we start showing people, because being able to see one building is one thing. Being able to see the entire skyline lit up is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of videos and a bunch of contacts from other places around the country that have done this, and that are going to come in and help us kind of pitch this to the people of Sioux City to say, hey, man, this has been one of the best decisions for us. And we did a lot of different things to make this happen, such as fundraisers. We did like a matching program, and a lot of other things to make this thing affordable and make it make sense for everybody. And then when they did that, great results happened. So it's not just, hey, this is going to look pretty and it's awesome. We have quantifiable data to back up and prove what we want to do to make sure Sioux City gets to the level where we want it to be.
Word. This is kind of my problem with a lot of, and this is not Sioux City specific, but just like the way that cities, towns that are not like, you're not Miami. So don't try to market yourself as Miami, right? And they go the wrong route where they make these commercials where they try to oversell what they are, and they try to be disingenuous about their actual message, what you can do here, why should you come to Sioux City, right? And not that there's anything about Sioux City marketing right now as it exists that has this problem, but all cities make this problem. But then there's these cities like Marfa, Texas. I don't know if you've ever heard of Marfa, Texas.
I have not.
It's like this Dust Bowl city. It's out in the desert in, I believe, West Texas. I'm not 100% sure though, so don't quote me on that. But they just basically, I don't know what the decision-making process looked like, but it's a whole city and it's a small town. A whole town that basically decided to be a standing art installation where they have like this fake Prada store out in the middle of the desert that's just like this one cube. If anybody's listening to this and is interested, it's so dope. Marfa, Texas is the name of it. Marfa, Texas. And it kind of goes, rather than try to sell yourself as something that you're not. Why don't you become something that is different than what everybody else is trying
100%,
to do?
absolutely.
Right? So in this, like, I guess the lights are one thing, just they're a component of that.
For
right?
sure. It's not the whole
You
kit
can
and caboodle.
create an environment downtown, and you don't have to go.
That's what it is.
Come to our downtown that is now lit up, featuring new lights. You don't got to do that. You just have to show it, do it, or you just have to do it and then show it.
Well, I mean, that'll
people
spread
about
like wildfire. I mean, you have people coming down from Omaha and Sioux Falls on a daily basis, just randomly, and then the moment they see those things, you bet your butt they're going to be telling their friends to come down here and check
And
out
with
Sioux
these
City.
the new expo center, the new arena,
Oh, yeah.
it's shit.
We-
We're
we-
getting
we-
more people than ever into Sioux
We
City
now,
right now.
you know, if you would have told me like 5 years ago,
I would have never told you this.
or 5-10 years ago that, hey, we're going to be putting up some apartment complexes and doing some things in Sioux City and building some more hotels and an arena, I'd call you crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's like they're popping up left and right, and they can't build them fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I don't know about you, but it's exciting for me because when I was young, like I said, I didn't want to be in Sioux City because I thought I want to get out of here as fast as possible.
And then you realize that every city is basically the
kind of the
same.
same. No matter where you go, it's the same thing.
You might as well go where you like the people.
Exactly. But it's just so cool to be able to see the growth of Sioux City happen, even from when I was in high school to what it is today now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a buddy in the trucking industry, and trucking here is blowing up through the roof. With the new highway that was installed recently, and all the wonderful construction that took forever to finish up. But it
Only took us 11 years. They thought Hader said it was going to take 12. Took us 11. No big deal.
But I mean, that had to happen for more growth to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So I couldn't be more proud to say I live in Sioux City and I'm from Sioux City.
We done came up.
Exactly. So when everyone who says that we got to get out of here, whatever, this is the best place to raise a family. The crime rate's low, education's high. It's a great place for families to come.
You trying to hire me for a meatpacking plant right now?
No, I'm not, but I will tell you this. It was really interesting. This year, we had quite an influx of new customers come on for holiday tree lighting that were from New York, California, wherever else, that they moved here during the pandemic to get out of these big cities.
Yeah.
And they're migrating here to smaller towns. And it's really interesting to see that. Like, it was really weird to have like 4 New York numbers pop in one day. And it didn't make any sense to me. I got to talk to those people, and they're like, hey, yeah, we had to get out of this big city, saw this place, and, got a job here, but, couldn't be more excited to be living here and raising our family here.
Yeah, they sell their 1-bedroom apartment in Manhattan. Yeah,
and then
they come back here with 500 racks.
Unbelievable.
And like, I might have to get some financing. And they're like, wait a second, what can I buy for $500,000 in this city?
Exactly.
The whole thing?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that's another awesome thing about Sioux City. But I mean, that compared with other places, cost of living, like just that alone, why would you go anywhere else?
Yeah.
Everything's here for you.
I say it once and I'll say it a million times. You're an idiot if you move. Facts is facts is facts.
Right.
Stay in Sioux City or you're an idiot.
That's correct. I mean, that's what we always say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we probably have covered most of your story here. And
yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, so do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Nothing, man. I mean, we're just focused on lights right now, so we're just trying to make sure that keeps chugging along, and our intention is to light up Sioux City 100%.
I dig the project. Thank you so much for tuning in. We now have a merch store live on our website. We got hoodies, we got crew necks, we got t-shirts, we got hats, we got beanies, we got anything you need. We are moving a lot of merch, so go ahead, hop on there, buy yourself something. You can enter promo code Taylor at checkout for nothing off, and if you buy 2 items, you can double that discount. And until next time, thank you.